Okay, peace and blessings, everybody. This is Rev Deli, and we have Grandmother Inyame Selassie, and we are here just sharing some thoughts with you. We have our Earth Sanctuary meeting our Urban Sanctuary, and we want to just allow a conversation to flow between these two destinations so that all of you listening can be covered and that your hearts can be opened and that we can be drawn closer together. And since the human being began with the breath, Mama Nyame has some thoughts on breathing, on breath, and I would like for her to share that with us.
Yes, I realize that breath is a ritual, breathing in and breathing out. It's a ceremony. And the magic of it, you could call it whatever you want to, it is what keeps us tied to this third dimensional realm. Without the breath, we could not hold here. So every time we breathe in and out, we're doing a ceremony, and that can take us to the sacredness of life and keep us in a present mood of I am in constant ritual or constant ceremony, which speaks to the sacredness of life.
I love that. In some of my classes, I teach that when you breathe into the heart realm, you become connected to the Milky Way. And sometimes when people are breathing and they inhale, they can actually see the swirl of
Mhm.
the galaxy going out and the galaxy coming in. So it's this idea that breathing is a portal, um, you know, to the universe is, I think that's a wonderful thing to think about.
I
And
think you
as we were
just
just
put the
saying
ritual to
before,
it.
hmm?
I didn't mean to cut you off, but can you write this down? You just put the ritual to the breathing. Breathe the Milky Way in and out. So it's all one thing.
Ah.
I won't cut you off again, but I had to
No,
catch
no,
that
that's
while I was there.
perfect. This is a conversation and you know how we do, we finish each other's sentences and it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna forget." And it's okay because we're not in competition. This is, you
Okay.
know, this is in love. And I love that because
Yeah.
I had not thought of that. Okay, that is
Mhm.
and that's what we were just talking about. If throughout our day we thought about our orientation to the planet, all at all
Mhm.
the times, it would make our thinking less rigid,
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's
because
powerful.
yeah, it's just inhaling out to the cosmos and or inhaling, receiving, and then exhaling out into the cosmos. It reminds us that we're not here alone and
Mhm.
everything we say and do impacts the whole.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. As the other thing I wanted to just share was, and I haven't even, written this out. This is just kind of off the cuff. But I was speaking to someone who was quite a spiritual scholar recently, and as I was speaking to that person, I realized that they were very intent to on exchanging data. And that's the world we live in is, you push the button and you send this data over here and you push a button, you send data over there. And we know that the English language came out of war, right? It was the Anglos and the Saxons, they jammed together these two languages. And that's how we get the language we have. That's why we have all those conjunctions. We have all of those words that separate phrases. We don't have a language that uh, engages, the circular nature of life. And so here we are in the we I think we're leaving the technology age. We're leaving not the tech, but the information age. I would like to think that at this point in time, when the Earth is going through tremendous changes, that we are moving into the heart-centered age. We're
Mhm.
moving back into a dynamic. that is more harmonious and that embraces feelings. Uh, I would like to think that we're coming back into a time when we can receive information in a harmonious and a complementary and cooperative fashion just as much as we can push information out on someone else.
Yes.
And that's what I'd like to vote for. What do you think? Are you voting for a heart centered age?
Listen, that's the only vote I have. If we don't do it, if we don't do it from the heart, it's not going to get done because love is the answer. It's the medicine. It's the solution. It's everything because it's my belief that all of creation comes from love. And so if creation exists because of love and is made from love, then it has to be the strongest force that exists. So yeah, the heartfelt because we've been into the intellectual, left brain realm about, I know this and I can prove that. And then the wild part about that is somebody else can prove that's wrong 5 minutes later. So it's, the world we live in is the world we create within our own self. And if we can create a heart-centered space with or without all this data, just really come from the heart, then we live in a different world. And, speaking to the scholarly and the linear, data, there's an old saying that says, I know you know it by heart, but do you know it in your heart?
Whoa, 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 whoa. I love that. So we're talking about walking our talk and even more importantly, talking the walk. So that was uh, also kind of a neat perspective that you shared with me earlier about tell us about your Siam practice.
Okay, there's a formula. And if we really want to get down and dirty with ourselves and really, really be sovereign, spiritually sovereign, third dimensionally sovereign, we have to go in there and meet those challenges, boogeyman, demons, whatever people call them. It's energy. And it's energies that we have accumulated through background, through our experiences, through our family, environment, and they're not all cute, but they do all exist. And so if we're willing to go in there and actually do the self investigation and monitoring, which is SIAM. So we go in there, we investigate, we acknowledge, and then we embrace, and then we integrate. So the
Ooh.
the process is, I mean, it gets scary sometimes, but so is this world scary walking through it with your eyes closed. So to
Mhm.
be able to have your eyes open and trust yourself, because that's where the thing comes in. If you don't know who you are, one of those energies, you can give it a name, you can call it whatever you want to, is going to bust out and perform. And then you can't take it back because it's done. So if you don't know who's in there, you're
Whoa,
really setting
whoa.
yourself up. You're setting yourself up for some embarrassment, okay, and even some problems. So if we get in there and we self-investigate and monitor, then as we meet these energies, entities, then we can integrate. Some of the religions say kill the ego. We have to have an ego in order to function in this third dimensional realm. But the ego cannot lead. The ego
Right.
has to be in the back seat, not even on the passenger side. It should be the spirit on one side, the ego and the desire body in the back, and the emotion in the passenger seat.
There you go. Because that's what moves us anyway. It's our emotions. That's why we use that word.
Mhm.
I love that. You're so right. I talk a lot about accurate self-assessment, even in the business world, because people can say, I'm this and I'm that. But then as you show up in different circumstances, will anyone else see the same thing that you see or or that you imagine? And so that accurate self-assessment is good. I like that SIAM exercise. And we're going to, this was just a little snippet to tease you all about our Becoming Earthwise podcast that's coming. And we wanted to end with what I'm calling a SIAM exercise. So if you talked your actual walk, what would you reveal to yourself?
Mm.
Hmm. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next Sunday. Peace.
Ciao. Ciao.
Mm-mm.